Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. Let us know if you can hear us okay. Hopefully you guys can. I'm gonna wait for confirmation real quick. I see while I'm waiting for confirmation, I'll go ahead and just give a shout out to those that are on. We currently have Ed, Darren, Caesar, and Ralph on. Good to see you guys. Hopefully we'll have some more people popping in here shortly. And Sifu said he was gonna make his phone quiet, but it
No,
didn't
it's
sound very quiet.
notification.
Hey everyone, I'm glad to see you all. Hopefully you guys are having a great day or evening wherever you're joining us from. If you haven't already, go ahead and give us a shout out in the chat. Let us know where you're coming in from. If you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the chat. If you'd like priority on those questions, your Kung Fu questions, make sure you do super chat for any amount. It don't matter. We'll put you straight to the top just out of gratitude and gratefulness for your help. If you haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe and make sure you tap the notification bell so we can let you know when we are live and adding new videos to our awesome YouTube channel. I'm your host, CJ Jamie. This is Sifu Fu, and Sifu Larry confirmed he can hear us a-okay. So I'm hoping you guys can as well. Obviously, we're going to talk about Kung Fu, health, wellness, fitness, martial arts, and anything else within reason. Okay. What is the reason? That is determined on the YouTube guidelines. So let's go ahead and see what we got going on. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Ed. Much appreciated. And Darren's coming in from Western Australia. Let's see. Caesar is coming in from Tijuana, Baja. And Shalom has the first question of the night. Ralph is coming in from Dallas, Texas. So Shalom says, hey guys, Sifu, can you show us some applications of Tai Chi against a punch and against a grab? Thanks.
I can. That's a request, so that's no problem. Let's pick one. Let's
Do
use
a punch or a grab?
either one. Let's do brush left knee. It's a really good move, taken from the form
Okay.
from Storch Spread's Wing, doing this here like this. So she's gives me a punch. This is a basic move. Someone stores a punch. This is a basic move of brush left knee. So she's punching me. You walk into a turn around and you go into this. And so that's a basic move from the brush left knee this way, like this. The other one could be from a grab. So no,
Both
two hands.
hands?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So this is taken from this part of your form, taken this way. You turn it and get her hands that way, and you go into that. So that's this part here. So she's like, I'll do it slow, but she grabs this part here that goes like, no, during the grab, yeah. So I'm doing it slow. So here like this, and it hooks them, and it goes into that. That's taken from that. It could also take it from a punch, like I said, a single arm punch, catching it here, doing this and here. If she blocks my arm, it goes from brush left knee. She blocks it like this, brush right knee, and then to the brush left knee. So you can learn how to turn. That's what this position of the hands are. So if she knocks my hands off, I can circle it back, taken from that. The opening of the form in Tai Chi this way. This is like she's throwing a hook punch.
Okay.
You hook punch. This is the basic form of the opening. So if you ever look at someone does this, you're like, what the heck is that for? It's actually learn how to create proper structural integrity in your arm so you can send the energy out. So she punches me,
This
and
hand.
it doesn't matter which hand,
Okay.
just punch me. So if I told her, push into me hard as you can, lean your weight. The idea is that you shouldn't have to struggle. If it is, then you're not properly structured and sending energy out to your wrists. If you're going like this and you're like, ugh. See, that's not bringing the energy to the hands. This opening, I demonstrate pressure test like anybody who does Tai Chi. Have someone grab your wrist like this. See if you can bring your arms up. Now hold me. Don't let go. It's a don't let go.
I'm trying to hold him, y'all.
Hold
I'm
on.
not
I'm gonna do it
joking.
so she. But you see how she's going backwards? If you do this and you feel go and exchange your shoulders, then you're not projecting forward energy. You're not doing the energy right. Proper energy should always bring the energy to the wrist. If I do it like this, she will go backwards from it. If she doesn't feel the pressure go back into her shoulders, then you're not driving the energy wrist. You're actually using the shoulders. You're pulling from your shoulders. It has to come to the wrist, and then the wrist turns. So this is like the opening of the Tai Chi off of a grappling type of
Bonus.
thing. So that's like a grappling right here. So people grab my hands. And I demonstrate this all the time. I have big people, like people like 280 pounds who are lifting heavy weights. I tell them to grab me. I love them grab me. And then they can't hold me no matter what. Because again, she grabs me, hold me real tight if you can. Look, she grabs me two hands. Again, this is Yeah, that's a better grip for you. So if I'm like this, don't let me go if you can. See, this is again, this is me using my biceps, my chest muscle to try. This is me using the wrist. So this is again, Tai Chi is about letting the energy come into the wrist, not on your arms and shoulders. It has to go through your arm and shoulders into the wrist. That's really what Tai Chi is when you do combat. If you're only doing it from your shoulders and your waist and not through your wrist, it won't really work in combat because the wrist is what controls energy. It's what directs energy that's stronger than you. It's what allows you control energy, right? So the wrist does three things. It converts energy, controls energy, and it focuses energy. Without the wrist, you can't convert energy. You will wind up trying to overpower the energy. It's like think of the wrist as a steering wheel to a car. Yeah, you can put the foot on the gas. Yes, you can tell it to go fast, but without a steering wheel, you can only go straight. If something was in front of you that was big, like a mountain, all right, you're gonna wind up crashing into it. It's a steering wheel that allows you to turn from it, okay, and allows you to direct the energy that's in you and actually on you as well. So your wrist is what controls energy through the wrist, by the wrist, for the wrist. So when we're doing Tai Chi, it's always in the wrist. If you look like you're like this, and you're like this, and you're moving like that, that's not your wrist. That's just, and I specify how your hand should look. You should look like the head of the snake, never the tail of the snake. So if you're doing a move where you're going like this and that's not your wrist. That you can see this is your wrist. You can see the wrist leading the energy. That's not the wrist leading the energy. That's the wrist following the energy. So it has to be the head of the snake, not the tail of the snake. That's the basic principle of Tai Chi with the waist too.
All right, awesome. So I think it is a follow-up question. He says, great at the end. It's a palm strike or a throw?
For brush left knee, it's a palm strike. I can make it into a throw. There's different applications. It depends on where my body position is. But yes, Tai Chi on a brush left knee, if she's close, like she's a grappler, I can use it as a throw. It depends on the range, depends on the attack, depends on how I respond. All those things are a factor.
All right, awesome. Hey, Melanie. Melanie's coming in from Southern Utah. Good to see you, sis. Hey, Ralph. I'm having Sifu Larry look up where the Dan Chi lessons are specifically so I can give you a module and all that good stuff. So as soon as I have that, I will get that over to you shortly because it's really hard for me to look it up while we're live, how we have it set up currently. So I have him being my assistant for once. All right. So we'll get back to that. Let us know other questions you have, fam. In the meantime, Sifu, do you have any news to share with the peoples?
Any new news?
Any new
Nothing.
news?
New news.
No
I've been
news.
working out. I gained 16 pounds now. I'm like 186. I was 170. So within about almost 2 months, I gained all the mass, which is good because they say people my age, you have a very hard time gaining muscles because as you get a certain age.
Well, are you
But
taking? Whoa, hold up. I'm sorry. What? Wing Chun. This is module 12, lesson 5, and lesson 6. There you go, brother. That's where you can find that. Okay. Sorry, Sifu. I was about to say you are taking creatine, right?
yeah.
So,
I'm just
some of
gaining.
that, so some of that's water mass too.
I understand.
Okay,
But
just
16
making
pounds
sure.
is a lot
Just making sure you know.
well, I can
that.
definitely see it in my body. I'm much bigger on my body. My shoulders are
He's like,
broader. So I've been gaining the weight, gaining the size. I'm not trying to do it on a purposeful thing, but I'm just working out with a friend, helping him out, and I'm just lifting as well. My body's, well, I'm just glad because they say once you get a certain age, it's hard for the body to build muscle because
they say that, but I've seen people that never
no,
done
no,
their
on the
lives
average.
in their 50s, like become like brick houses.
Yeah.
So
They say it's just harder. Like if you're 25 and you're working out, you'll gain more muscle mass easier
yeah.
than when you're 50. But the fact that I gained 16 pounds in 2 months, that makes me feel good because I able to still gain that size without taking steroids or anything like that.
Yeah, don't do that. No drugs, kids, stay away. All right. So let's see. Okay, nothing new yet. So hey guys, I messed up last week or well the week before because it wasn't quite last week because we didn't meet on Thursday. We're meeting today as a makeup for that. I meant to actually say February 19th for Shaolin 2.0. I had gotten into an accident like earlier that day, so my brain was not in the right place. My ADHD was going through the roof, and I didn't realize it until afterwards. I was like, "What did I say?" So just to reiterate and give you guys the correct date, February 19th, which is a Wednesday. So the day before our normal webinars. And we will be doing our webinar this Thursday too. So you guys are going to have like a closer one. Also wanted to give you guys an update. We have our replay on YouTube. Zoom did its little crashy poo thing again. And I do not have, as of right now, the replay from the previous one for the members only one, but I was told and assured they are diligently finding the backup. So I know they were able to restore one of ours last time this happened. So I should know by tomorrow what the dealio is. So I will keep you posted. If they give it to me, I'll make sure that is up right away for you guys. So that's why I didn't send an email in regards to the replay because I don't have the replay. So just want to let you guys know that. All right, let's see what we got going on. Let's see. Ralph says, I gained 3 pounds from 139 to 142. At my age, muscle's hard to get large, so staying firm.
And
You know,
here's the good news. I gained 16 pounds. My jeans still fit me perfectly. It doesn't. So even though I gained it for the right muscles. I didn't gain it
yeah,
in the waist around the area. My face don't look fat, so I'm glad.
yeah. And I would say, that you should never want to get like necessarily large. You want to get strong. You want to, build muscle density, bone density, all those different things. So you want to stay proportioned to your body. So it's not necessarily a bad thing at all that you're not feeling like you're, able to get large because then you would probably be outside of your normal scope of what your physique should be naturally. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, brother. That's what I'm trying to say.
Here's the good news too. I'm training with my daughter, my youngest daughter, Peyton.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's great because I get to hang out with her, so it's fun. She works out in the gym, but she doesn't know how to properly work out.
Right.
So I was able to take her training one day. She wants to come with me tonight, so we're gonna live tonight. So I'm gonna work her legs and everything. So I'm so excited.
Oh,
I
very
like spending
cool.
time with my kids.
Love that. That is so awesome. Hey Ed, I fixed it, so it should be okay. If you could check it while we're on this and let me know. What happened is I think because I canceled it last week, it like messed up the sequence of how many that there were, but I did fix it and there is one for tonight and it should be the same exact link. So if you could be my buddy and go check that for me, it's working on my end, let me know. All right. Amateur Citizens Band Radio. I practiced the Schwarzenegger's bodybuilding and Shaolin fitness from you and won a fencing championship. Good job. Good
Good
job.
job.
Very cool. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. Awesome. Yeah, I noticed that too, like right after I sent the email. I was like, oh, it was when I was coming to log in for this. I was like, what is going on? But I believe it is the same one. And then I have to fix it because it's still showing it's missing for the next 2 weeks and then picks back up. I'm not sure what's going on. So I might have to call their support and get that working. Oh, it's working. Yay. Thanks for checking, Ed. I appreciate that. Awesome. Hopefully I don't have any more emails in regards to that. I'll have to see if I can check between this webinar and the next one. All right. Well, is there a quick lesson you can give to the people since we don't
I
look?
can. Is there any specific lesson they want?
Is there
understand?
anything you guys would like us to cover? Feel free to put it down
What
right
would you
now.
like a lesson in?
Is
Grappling,
there
striking, certain things I will do, certain things I won't. Generating power, controlling energy.
a proper punch? You let us know and we will help you out. Or is there anything that you guys have questions about in regards to maybe some exercises or building your tendons or your wrist strength? I could go on and on, but how can we serve you? Let us know, fam.
Is-
Oh, we're not gonna do any ground fighting. That's for members only, guys.
Um, yeah. In terms of ground fighting, like you're saying ground fighting, but it's so general. You have to be specific, like how to get off a mount, how to put someone in a lock, like stuff like that. But I do some things that are simple, but other things that we do that's unique to us that nobody else does, I
Members
wouldn't do
only.
that. Some members only thing.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, Caesar gave us some love. Okay, thank you. He says, please, Sifu, what's the difference between the piston shot techniques?
compared to what?
Yeah,
Hard
piston
punch?
shot compared to a regular punch.
Yeah.
Give us an example, Caesar, and that's the one that we will cover.
Okay, so a piston shot is basically like it's the same mental state like you would stab someone with a knife. Your goal is not to follow through and push against your target and overcome them is to inject as much energy in a short amount of time and a short amount of distance. That's what a piston shot is. It's not going to go boom and you're done. It's not supposed to go this and follow through. Whereas like a lot of external styles, like she just puts her hand up.
Okay.
An external style is a punch that goes like this, follows through, and like that. A piston shot is here and it's snaps and lets the energy move them back. Not that you have to use your force to come back. So you're actually using the acceleration and the focus to generate the power rather than the follow through of your body mass overcoming her. So that's really the main difference in what a piston shot is versus like an external punch. Okay. A lot of styles, and I'm not saying that external punches doesn't work. It's just the problem with it is that if you're a 115-pound guy and you're going against a 280-pound guy, it's not going to make much of a difference, which is why in boxing there's a weight class. You never see a featherweight fighting a heavyweight because he wouldn't be able to do enough damage using his size. But if you gave the featherweight a knife, okay, and it's attached to his hands where it won't come off, and he does what he hits, it's a different story now because he's able to do more damage. Now, obviously, you could say it's a weapon, it's metal, but the idea is it's the same mental state that you are not trying to overcome the size and follow through to overpower him. Your goal is to focus on 1 square inch, not pushing back the mass. Where most external punches, they are a follow through to overcome what's in front of you, where a piston shot is to break that which is you're making contact to. So that's the main difference, okay? It's two things that you want. You want acceleration when you impact, not follow through. So no, I'm not doing this and following through. I actually want to do is accelerate it at the moment of impact. That's the one difference. And two, the other thing that makes a piston shot more powerful is that you, instead of hitting with a huge area of your hand, you focus to like maybe your first knuckle or the top 2 knuckles or just your thumb. So your focus of concentration is smaller, which then instead of moving the mass, it's piercing the mass, which is what that's why I like to say our punches should be piercing hits, not compression hits. External styles, they do a compression hit. They're like a big sledgehammer. Yeah, it hurts if you get hit by a sledgehammer, but if you take a sledgehammer and you hit a block of wood, you can hit as hard as you want. What you'll do is you'll dent it. You'll see a dent in that. You turn that sledgehammer into like a split to an axe and you hit it hard, you can wind up splitting it. So it's still the same force, it's still the same block of wood. The only difference is the way the concentration of energy is. So piston shot is learning how to concentrate the energy to a single point, and the key is to accelerate. And I, like one of my old houses, I split wood, and one of the things I get a lot of power is I don't just do this and I do this where I bring it down. I'm like, I actually, when I do it, I actually accelerate by taking, and I actually drop my knees and accelerate my wrist, and I get the most amount of force I can out of it. And I've noticed when I concentrate on woods that's hard to split, when you just kind of bring it down, most of the time I'll just let the weight of it do it down so I don't exert myself because I'm splitting like 20 wood, so I don't want to exert. But ones that are resistant, just drawing it down doesn't do it. So I actually turn my waist, I drop my knees and accelerate the wrist to generate the maximum force when it hits. And often it splits it really easy. So punching is the same. There's no difference to it. So when I'm hitting like this, I actually just put the base in there, accelerate the arm after it, and then turn the wrist to come in. I've seen a lot of people when they punch, and it's fine. I don't take anything away from what they do because it can work. I'm not saying it won't work, but it doesn't work when you're a lot lighter to a bigger, heavier guy. So I've seen a lot of people that they'll punch like this and they go like this and they put, and that's fine. I think it's a good way. We do that plus the wrist. So we're not saying that's wrong. We're saying there's more that you do. So rather than just like punch where you're just turning, it's a punch and snap and so it can do much more damage because it's like they're hitting like a pole and they smash into it and they smash into it and yeah, it can hurt. We're using the wrist as like having a pole with a dynamite at the end that has a trigger that as soon as it compresses, it explodes. So you're like this, and then when it compresses, boom, you get that explosion. That's what the wrist is like. It adds a little explosion for you. So you can create more power through the wrist. If you're just doing it like a club, then it's whatever your body and arm can do. And, the wrist is whatever the body and the arm can do in conjunction with the wrist. So it has to generate more power in the end because like a whip, I want to send all the energy there, then I focus it. So a piston shot is very small bursted movement. So it's like if I'm here, I can just generate that out. I don't need to throw my body because I'm not trying to push the mass. I'm trying to break the point. So I want to put a hole in this. My goal is not to move it. My goal is try to put a hole. So it's just put a hole at the point at which I'm hitting. I don't want to move. This is going to move because it's very, very light. That's why it's going to move. But when you have a bigger guy, I tell my students all the time, when you hit him, don't concentrate on moving him backwards. Try to make him drop. Just like if I had a knife, I stab them. You see, people get stabbed. All the energy go there. And they'll drop. They don't fly backwards because the energy is not there to move the mass. It's trying to break the point. Piston shots are designed to break the point, not move the mass. So if you're hitting, try to move the mass, then you're doing it wrong. You're trying to overcome the mass of the person rather than break the point on the person. And so piston shots are to break the point, not move the mass. So that's a huge, huge difference in how you generate power and how you expend your energy. I don't need like throw my body. I just need to base it just and put all that power into one little thing. And that's how you can generate a lot of power in your hit. It's through the base, but it's also again through the wrist as well. It's not just from the shoulder punching. And yes, you're supposed to throw your shoulders, but you don't just throw it to the hand. You throw it to the elbow, and then the elbow brings to the hand. Then the hand turns to the point of contact. That's how we do it. That's what the 3-proof is. So you're always trying to create the piston shot where it's like this, not like this. That if you see me doing this, that's just my shoulder and my hand. If you see this, you see the base, to the wrist, then that. So that's the difference in how we want to do a punch as a piston shot versus like an external shot. Hope that makes sense.
And thank you for the super chat, love again, Caesar, as well as Ralph. Ralph, let us know if you have any questions to go with that super chat, love you sent us. He said, piston shots are awesome as heck. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. And Caesar, let us know if that addressed all you wanted to know, or if there's anything else you want to know about the piston shop. We would love to help you out with that. Amateur Citizen said, I do pink belt Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, awesome, and kickboxing, very cool. Yeah, we have a whole section inside of enershaolin.com, our membership site of our grappling and things like that. There's a reason we don't share it online because there's just some things that really should be kept for members only. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Like people that are serious about Enter Shaolin, just like we're serious about them and our family members, there's certain things that really just should be meant for them.
Well, we do things that the jiu-jitsu doesn't do, or method-wise.
Yeah.
Like a rear naked choke. We do it differently from how
a lot different.
They do it. So we will never teach it because that's ours. That's not theirs. If I show it to YouTube, people can start to see it. You need to pay to see that. You need to learn from us from doing that. I don't want to give that away for free. So there's certain things that we do that's different from other systems that do. And if that's something that's different, then I won't show it.
Yeah.
Like certain things in Wing Chun, common thing people pack, I just adjust a little bit here, there. That's fine. I could show that. But there are certain things like the ability to channel, stuff like that. I won't teach that because that's particular to what we can do. Nobody else does. So
members
I won't
only.
teach it in public.
Yeah. So self-elevation, brother, haven't seen you in forever. Good to see you on. He says, peace, Sifu, Sifu Larry, CJ Jamie. Indeed, good to see you all once again. I still got my notes. I'm going over. Sifu, LOL, indeed. I'll be back in contact soon, no doubt. Well, glad to see you on. Thanks for that, brother. We love you and looking forward to hearing from you soon. All right. We did have another question. David Malchuk asked about any plans for any seminars this year. That's kind of up in the air. We have a lot of weird things happening. We have graduations happening, kids graduating high school. We're going to have to find a new place for Enter Shaolin come the summer. There's a lot of different little pieces of the puzzle that we don't really have in place. And every time since the pandemic that we try to put a seminar together, we get 10 people, which unfortunately is not enough for us to hold one of our normal seminars. So some of the things that we're thinking about doing moving forward is having some more like instead of a seminar, kind of like a intensive, a 2-day intensive instead of a 3-day seminar where we're doing groups of 10. here at Enter Shaolin, at our actual, where we run Enter Shaolin out of and stuff like that, and having mini ones because that seems to be like the magic number. 10 people at any given date and time are available, and that way we can also reduce the cost for the individual and also make sense for us to hold the seminars. So that's why we haven't put any dates out there, because life has been a little wacky for all of us, and there's some moving pieces of the chessboard that we need to solidify before we get that going. So as soon as we have any information, you guys obviously will be the first to know. Well, EnterShaolin.com members will be the first to know. You guys will be the second to know, anyone that's not a member. So it'll be in that order. Hope that makes sense. Let's see. Caesar said, also arc piston shot, please.
Okay.
Okay.
So same rule applies. Changing of the arm comes from the wrist, not from the shoulders. So if I do it like this, I'm hitting, and I do this, that's my shoulders. You really want to arc your wrist to change the angle to create your hits. So wrist controls energy, it directs the energy. Arm supports the wrist to do so. So my elbow goes up because I turn the wrist, not because I draw the arm up from the shoulder. So if I like this and I do this, that's not proper. This would be proper. So you can see the wrist change the angle. I bring it up and I draw it back because I'm using the wrist to do so. If I'm doing it like this, I go like this, then that's a lot of stress on the shoulders. So you want to make sure that when you create any type of arcs, it comes from the wrist. So one of the basic things I teach my students is like the 3 type of punch for this single arm. It's like throwing a straight, then throwing a hook, then throw an uppercut. This is because of the wrist. If you're going like this, and like this, then that's your shoulders. When we do it, it comes from the wrist. And so it has to be the wrist that redirects the energy. It can't be from your shoulders. If it is, so we do pressure tests. This is where you can test it. She can hold my arm like this. Use the other hand, it's easier for you. Yeah. So if I throw it and resist me, okay? If I throw from the shoulder like this, it makes it very difficult for me to be able to control the energy and overcome the pressure. But if I do it from the wrist, I do this, and then I do this. Hold me till I can't.
Okay.
So you see, it's the wrist that directs the pressure. If it's from the shoulders, all the energy goes back to shoulders. You have to overcome that negative energy. It's kind of like think of someone put pressure on arm. All of a sudden, before I'm about to strike, I pull as they put pressure. I'm going to feel all that weight, and I got to overcome that pressure. Where if someone puts their weight and I rotate it, I can convert the energy back. That's how I want to learn to do it. If I do it where I'm going from the shoulder like this, and then I go like this, and she pushes me, it becomes very difficult for me to bring the energy out. But let's go back to the straight. So if I'm like this, and she pushes my arm, she can feel I can direct the energy. She can feel the power come out. And so when I hit, I'll hit a lot harder because it's not here to get here. It's always here. So even an uppercut, if I go like this, it becomes difficult. I go like this. So she can't fight that pressure, and she's going to feel a lot of power come out. So arcing your punch comes from the wrist. So it's not this, it's actually this. So when you're hitting that way, it's very powerful. Again, it's like me stabbing very fast. And think of it as more you relax, the more you can accelerate. It's like stabbing deeper. If you, let's say, going 5 miles an hour, you got a 2-inch blade injection. You go 20 miles an hour, now you got a 5-inch blade. It feels like injecting someone. So the faster you can accelerate and focus the energy right, it's going to feel like it drives into them deeper. It's the acceleration with the mass. So if your mass is always the same, the acceleration is the fact that it can change, then the faster you can accelerate that movement, the deeper the impact's going to feel like it goes in. So if she's over here, and I just go like this, tense your stomach up. It won't be hard. But if I go like this, like you can feel that, like that, right? If I rotate the wrist and do it,
yeah, that feels a lot.
And it goes, and it goes deeper. And again, if you go fast and you turn your mass more and accelerate that, it's going to feel like it's deeper and deeper. And see how she moved backwards? My hand didn't follow through. I only ejected 2 inches behind it, and her body went over because the pressure makes her. And that's the kind of that's what a piston shot is. So if she's like, give me a straight punch, right? And I go like this. See, it's just like that. So you just get that right into it. So you can
launching a rock.
you can see when I hit, it'll feel like they got stabbed with an
Yeah.
ice pick in the
Yeah.
face. That's what one feels like. And for anybody to get an understanding of what that is, have you ever like turned around and just like hit a corner or something, hit the side of a car, the door, and just like boom, it's like, oh, that your cat, whatever. Ever turn on, just accidentally hit yourself, just that light turn, you feel the pain, like, oh, that hurt. And it's just you turning, and it's just that object right there, and it's focused like a corner, and it just hits you, and you're like, oh. Now imagine as you turn, nothing came at you 100 miles an hour.
Oh, no.
That's what it's like when
Knock
you
you out.
get hit with a piston shot. It is something that comes at you, and it's so focused, it's like a corner of something that just, as you turn, you hit, you're like, oh. It's like, oh my gosh, that hurt. That's what it's like. And that little energy, you can feel that hurt you. And like I said, imagine that thing came at you 100 miles an hour. It's the same way when you piss a shot. You are like the corner of a door or something where you're solid, your arm is solid structure, and it comes accelerate. But if you're like this and you go, see, that doesn't look solid. I don't look connected. I look like I'm actually bringing my elbow over this way versus I'm driving the elbow to the wrist. And that's, again, that's learn how to create three-proof. That's learn how to get your connection. That's learn how to drive the base with to the wrist so you can accelerate it. And that's how a piston shot works on a hook punch, uppercut, or a straight punch.
Ross says wrist, 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 wrist. And David says, looking forward to the next seminar. Thank you for the update. And just to let you know, David, we are still accepting people if you want to come in and do private training and stuff like that for several days and stuff like that. We have members that come in from all over the place and do that. The best days to do that are Thursday through Sunday. Why? If you come in, like if you want to come in 4 days, those would be the best days. If you can only come in 2 days, I would say Saturday and Sunday are probably the best. But if you can come in for 4 days, Thursday through Sunday are good, mainly because Saturday and Sunday we're more free and open and available to you guys. Thursdays are great if you wanted to be a part of the webinar while you're here and stuff as like a little bonus and stuff like that. So those would be the dates and stuff. So if you have any questions, you want to not wait till a seminar comes out when it's ever that can be available and you just want to come do some training, reach out to us at support@shaolin.com and let us know how many hours you want to do, how many days, and we'll get you some pricing and everything like that. And that it does not obviously go to just David. Anyone listening to this is more than welcome to come and do some training. All right. Melanie says, I've done that running into the car door. It's awful. It's awful. Yeah. Ed says I've always hit open kitchen cupboards. Yeah, I've gotten a lot better at not doing that, but I have done that a few times, and boy, does that not feel good. That just hurts so much. And David gave us 2 thumbs up. All right, family, we still have some time. Let me go back through because I think there was another suggestion that I missed. Ed wanted to know, could you give some tips on generating power?
Well, power, remember, power is consisting of 3 things: mass, force, and focus. We get it through our joints. So there are 6 points in our body that we want to generate that from. First off, it comes from the ground, so we want to root. If you lean, it's just your momentum and it's your size. Okay. If you throw your power, it comes from sinking your body, like bending your knees and letting that root come down. Because I've done that demonstration. It's like if I bounce like this, right, that energy is going to my head. So as soon as I do this and the floor is solid, I can feel the energy going to my head. But who says it has to go to my head? I can generate and let it come out to the hands. So I want to root down to get the ground to give me some energy to come up. When it comes up, it must go through my ankle, through my knees, through my hips, through my shoulders, through my elbow, and then to my wrist eventually. And then the wrist generates the power to wherever it is, whether it be your knuckles, whether your forearms, your elbows, your hips, your shoulders. Your wrist helps to generate that power back to the point at which you're trying to hit from. So that's how you want to develop that power. You feel the connection between your 6 points when you hit. If you're like this and you hit it like this, and see, I look broken, then I'm not really using the 6 points to generate power. I'm using momentum. I'm using my size. Again, it works great when you're 280 pounds hitting at the 120 pound guy. Yeah, it works great. That guy's not going to survive it, but it goes the opposite. It doesn't work that great. So this works well because it does maximize your striking power to the most it can be without trying to strain the body. Okay, so you use your 6 points. You want to root yourself down and you want to torque your wrist. Those are the key things that you want to do when you're striking with power. You want to feel the root. You want to get the energy go to your wrist to get the hit. So whether I elbow, whether I use my shoulders, I will. For example, I don't elbow like this. I actually elbow with the torquing of the wrist with the root to get that power to come out. So you want to make sure that you are connecting your 6 points so that one is more than the other. If it is, then one's behind. Remember, a chain is only strongest, weakest link. So if you're off somewhere, that's going to be where you're going to feel the stress on impact more than anything else. So you want to, like I said, move through the rooting. Root yourself down before you put any energy. If you're like this and you lift, then you're not generating the most power, you're just generating the most force. Power is a concentrated energy. Force is just energy in motion. But power is when you take that energy in motion and you can concentrate it through acceleration, through focus. So which is why, like I said, power consists of three things: mass, force, and focus. So you want to make sure that you root, connect the 6 points, and get your wrist to initiate any type of hitting, whether it be your fists, your fingers, your forearms, your elbows, your shoulders. Your wrist is the key that directs that pressure. So that's how you want to learn to practice generating power through those concepts. In terms of techniques, just start off with the basic. If you don't have the wrist right, then just start with your elbow like this and just rotate your wrist like you're knocking a door. Develop that wrist to turn and create the timing. So this is a good way just to develop your wrist. Eventually, you do that wrist control with the base and drive. Then same thing here. So if I'm doing like this, it's the same concept of getting the energy in the wrist and getting the base and drive behind it. Then you can turn that with the waist. So then you can generate more power that way. So you can add and add and add. Hopefully that helped.
Tips. And I'm with you, Ralph. Ralph says, I wish teleportation was available. I'd be there every day. You know, when they used to always ask, like, what would be your superpower? That was always the one that I was like, I'm pretty sure that if I could only pick one, that would be it. Because think about it. You could be wherever you want, whenever you want, for free. Like, how cool is that? I'm thinking that'd be pretty awesome. I do a lot of traveling for sure. You know, I'd be like, hey, Melanie, want to go for a hike? I'll be there in a couple minutes, if that. See ya. Because Melanie says dinner, Ralph, right? That'd be so cool. Let's see. Caesar said, thank you. And he's showing off one of his YouTube premium only little icons. If you're wondering why little icon that Caesar has and why is his name in green and Ralph's name in green, that's because they have subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you haven't done that, you can click the join button.
I think your mic is off.
And that helps. Okay. Hold on. Let me. Okay, can you hear me now? It was clicked on, but for some reason felt like the wire was loose. I think I got it. Hopefully you can hear me. So what I was saying, if I could only have one superpower, definitely I'm with Ralph. Teleportation would be amazing because then I would go like with Melanie, who also said she would be here every single day, like Ralph. And I'd be like, hey, Melanie, want to go hiking in Utah? I'm with you, girl. So
I think I'd take telekinetic power.
that would be pretty cool too.
Because
I
can
mean,
move anything, control anything. I can make myself fly and go anywhere. It may take me longer than instant teleportation.
yeah, that's true.
But
That's
I
true.
can stop bullets. I can bend things. I can
All right,
control
fair.
things.
Fair. That would be a good one as well. Thank you, Melanie. But yeah, I would totally love that. That'd be really cool. Willette says, I'm a student in Kali where combat geometry and physics are important. Same with your martial arts. Yes.
Yeah, we do everything through the science. So we don't just say it because, oh, it's faster, it's better. It's like we explain why. If I can't get you to understand it, like, so my philosophy is if I can't get a girl to do it to a guy, then the technique's no good. It's strength-based.
Yeah.
It has to be through skill. It has to be through energy. It has to be through
Physics.
leverage. It has to be through, right. It has to be through physics. It has to be done where you're not overcoming energy, you convert energy. That's the main thing we do. We do not overpower someone. We learn to control someone's energy. The Chinese have a saying, 4 ounces can move 1,000 pounds. You just need to know how. And so I demonstrate the knowledge of how to control energy, not overcome energy. Like I do this all the time. I get all these big guys to do it. So she can push me with her hand like this.
Okay.
Obviously, if I were to push her with one hand and she pushed me, there's no way I can withstand that. Her whole entire body is much stronger than my one finger. It's a lot of stress on the joint. So if I'm trying to overcome it with strength, there's no way I can do that. It hurts. Okay. So if I can't beat her, then how do I? Oh, I can't overpower her. Then how do I beat her? She does it again. This time, see, she can't push that into me because now every time she does, she's actually feeling the pressure come back to her. Because before, I opposed her force. So her force is stronger than mine. I can't win. The second time, I returned her force. So she's every time she's adding, she's actually fighting herself.
Feeding,
She's
yeah.
feeding her energy back to
Yeah,
herself.
back to-
And again, and I use the finger demonstration because obviously one finger is not stronger than someone's whole
Yeah,
entire hand. If
yeah.
it looks easy, go do it. Put your finger and ask someone to just push your palm and make you go backwards. You try to see if you can control them or try to see if you can bring it back to them. And you'll see it's very, very difficult to do. You feel like your fingers crushed. If your fingers crushed, it's actually because you're using strength.
Right.
So we don't use strength. Is it to say that there's no such thing as strength? No. We go into passive resistance versus active resistance. We're not actively overcoming. We're passive resistance. Passive resistance is structural integrity. We don't overcome the pressure. We maintain the pressure in our arm. We don't try to add more, and then we convert the difference. That's what our basis is from. We don't try to take what's in front of us and try to overcome it. We try to control it and convert the difference from what we have to what they have.
Yeah, our whole system, Nodak Knot, is based on energy and physics principles, and we apply them to everything that we do, whether it's Tai Chi, Wing Chun, Shinat. That's why we say style doesn't matter. Let energy refine you. And that's why we work with people with all different disciplines. And we don't say, hey, your Kung Fu or your martial arts sucks. We're like, no, let's help you make it better by learning these principles and applying it to what you already know. So that's what is a little bit different about what we do here at Enter Shaolin. Darren, yeah, I guess you missed your opportunity.
You snooze, you lose.
You had 4 years, bro. I mean, to figure it out. It is what it is. Also, I was
Don't forget a cell phone as well.
also, I was saying that Caesar, if you're wondering why he's got this really cool little icon and stuff that he's got, and you're like, where's this in my emojis? Why don't I have this? It's because Caesar, as well as Ralph, who was on, their names are in green, are a part of the YouTube Premium membership. I think it's like $4.99 a month, so $5 a month. It's like buying us a coffee. Not really. It's probably even less than that because YouTube does take 30% of that, but it's just a little way to help us keep doing what we do here on Enter Shaolin. So thank you to all our premium members. We also have some bonus videos for them. They get their name in green. They look cool, and they got some really cool little icons that I specifically made for them.
Make the names orange because
we can't do that.
It should match our color.
But I don't have any control over that.
Oh, you don't?
No, that's YouTube. They don't allow you to. That'd be neat.
Pick the color?
No, you don't. No, every YouTube Premium person across the galaxy is green. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you could pick it. I thought we could.
No, that would be cool. No, if I could, I would. But I just so you guys know, you will see a lot more green in Enter Shaolin 2.0 because we're adding a lot more health and wellness related stuff. So that is actually another color that is getting integrated into our overall brand image. So in some ways, you're just like on point for the future. That's all. So it's all good. David's laughing. All right, family. We got a couple more minutes. Do we have any more questions or comments? If not, we can wrap it up early. Hey, Mark, good to see you on. Good to see you. I'm just going back through, making sure that I didn't miss anyone. Let's see. If you guys haven't already, please go ahead and strike the like. Give us a little heart. Give us some love. Share this video out on your favorite social media places. It does help us get the word out. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you do that. Also, if you are new here and you're like, what the heck is Nodak Na? What is these energy and physics principles? All that stuff, you can get our free ebook on the Nodak Na fundamentals, our 5 free day intro course by going to entershaolin.com/gift. That's entershaolin.com/gift. Fill out the little form. Make sure you go to email, click the confirmation link that's in there that says, hey guys, I really want these people's emails. And then you'll get a welcome email with how to access that. All right. Well, it says, thank you for your response. I will train with you by joining up. Awesome. How is Sifu Larry? Sifu Larry, would you like to give a report to the peoples? David was asking, how is Sifu Larry? Not the David you're thinking of, David Malchek. He hasn't been around in a hot minute. He wanted to know how you're doing.
What?
How is Sifu Larry?
You know, my heart's still moving.
You mean beating?
Sifu's getting old. Older than me, that is. She's a baby. We're not at World War III yet.
Hey, that's good. These are all pluses. So you're breathing and alive.
Breathing and alive.
All right.
And earthing.
Earthing.
Speaking of go green, we gotta, Earth.
In case you guys are wondering what the heck they're talking about a game. So
League of Legends Ultra Rapid Fire.
because I know if I wasn't in this office, I would be like, what are these people talking about? I have no idea. So yes, we're alive, breathing, well, optimistic about the future, and just moving forward every day, taking it one day at a time, not stressing about tomorrow. Tomorrow has enough worries of its own, just taking it bit by bit. All right, fam. Let me see. Do I have any other news? I think that's about it. Thanks for the people that joined me for that awesome event, that 3-day event and stuff. That was pretty cool. I'll have some information I'll report back in regards to Shaolin 2.0 and how that all related to that, just so you guys get a heads up on that. And let me see. I should also have the dates for when I'll be doing the mini Qigong sessions coming up. Not this week, but next week, I'll be announcing the days for that. So you guys can mark those in your calendar for anyone that wants to come do a little Qigong throughout the day and get a little boost of energy and have some accountability. I will definitely be here for you. And all right, fam, I don't see any more questions. So we're going to wrap it up just a few minutes early. So we have a little time to grab some water and stuff before the members only webinar. Again, the link is working now. Thank you, Ed, for double checking on that. Much appreciated. And family members, we'll see you here in a little bit. Everyone else, we'll see you on Thursday. Peace, fam. God bless.
If you're taking Kali,
Peace, fam.
very good system. I love
Yeah.
Kali. I think Kali is awesome. So good
Thumbs
job.
up.
Got a good art. Hopefully you have a great